Okay, so yeah, the steps with Desmos, you press this plus sign, then select table. After you do that, then on the X side, you type in all of your X values. So the X values, whenever you figure out your X and Y, the X is always the top table. So in this case, it'd be the latitude. So you're going to type in on Desmos all those X values. 0, press enter, 10, press enter. And what's cool about Desmos is after you've done a couple, they kind of figure out you're going to be in a pattern. So then it kind of predicts it for you. So you don't have to keep on typing it in. All right? Now on the Y values, it won't predict it for you because the Y values are all completely different. So then you just type in each one of your Y values. That would be the temperature, 79, 81, 79, 68, 58, 43, 28, 13, and 1. All right. After you do that, you go to the next line. On the next line, you're going to use this equation. Let's say first step, second step, enter values. Third step, write this equation. Y, it's a little squiggly line. That means approximately mx plus b. But there's one more thing you got to do. So basically, it's just like the y equals mx plus b, except instead of the equal sign, you put the squiggly line. But if you notice up here, this says x1 and y1. So you do have to use a little base of y1 and x1. So this is exactly what you'll type into Desmos. What's cool about this is after you type that equation once, you don't have to type it in again. So I do want y'all to pay attention on how I type this in, because this does get a little trickier. Type in Y. Max, it helps to look at the board, not your phone. Then to do the base, you got to press this ABC pad, do this button, and then go back in and type in the 1. Did everyone see how I did that? Yeah. Now press the right arrow to get beside it. Your little squiggly line, that means approximately. That's right here. Then the M, X, base 1, and then plus B. So yeah, it seemed like a lot of steps, but after you do that one time, just leave that in Desmos. You don't have to type it out again. That's what I recommend doing. So once you're there, it gives you all the stuff about stats and residuals. That's a hard word to say. But that's more of Algebra 2 or Advanced Math. What we need to focus on is the parameters. Can everybody see that? So if you look right here, the parameters. We have two letters that we are very familiar with. We have an M. What is M? Slope. And we have a B. What's a B? Do you remember what B is? That's your Y intercept. There we go. So what I want you to do is I want you to create that equation now. So to create that equation, you're going to do Y equals what we got for M. Now, you'll be able to tell it's a huge decimal. So go ahead and write out that whole decimal. That way it can be exact. So negative 1.07167. X plus our B. What's our B? Is that big long one?
92.866. 7.
So that is our equation. Now, let me tell you all, if we did this the old school way, it's a lot more steps. And if we did it by hand, you could probably do this problem. It'd take probably about 30 minutes to do it by hand. So you definitely don't want to do it by hand. I'm not going to even worry about showing you that. But that is the equation you get. Then it says we got to find it for a latitude of 48 degrees. Anybody got a guess on how we're going to figure that out? What is latitude, X or Y? X. So we're going to plug 48 in for what? X. So this part's easy. You just literally type in. And I've just emailed. Wait, here we go. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Plus 92.8667. So then you just type that in. Negative 1.07167 times 48 plus 92.8667. All right. So your final answer you can move to, or you can round to 3 decimal places. So if we rounded that to 3 decimal places, what would that be? 41 point. Anybody remember how to round?
427.
427. Very good. Question about that.
Was that on X equals to Y equals?
That's y equals because it gave us the x. We just had to figure out the y. All right. So what I do, I like to leave this just because it is kind of a pain to type that in. So what I would do is I would just come back here and change these x values into our new one. So I want you all to try this one. I want you all to try this one and then tell me what you get. So just type in all those values in and then tell me what you get. All right. What did you all get? Anybody want to be brave and give a guess?
Y equals 1.97997.
Good. Yeah, I got 1.97997 and then B 7.96658. Did all of y'all get that?
Yeah.
So that's your equation. Y equals 1.97997 X plus B 7.96658. So where are we going to plug in that 250 people? We're trying to figure out the number of suitcases. We have 250 people. So is that going to be X or Y?
Y.
The people?
Oh, X.
X. Yeah, people is the same thing as passengers. So you're going to do Y equals 1.97997 250 plus 7.96658. And basically, guys, this is just a lot of punching in your calculator. But I want to show you all something real quick. This is why we do that. So if you just looked at that, if you just looked at the points, this is what it looked like. So basically, you're trying to figure out what equation will best go between all of these points. And what you figure out is whenever you make this other one, we'll turn that on, and you can see that line goes best. That's the best way you can get the line to go through the most points as possible. So that is what line of best fit means, is you're thinking, okay, what equation would be the most accurate to go through there? Anytime they're dealing with stats and stuff, like I've seen tons of linear regressions with what's been going on with COVID. The number of cases tested positive, stuff like that. That's where you use this stuff, and that actually use it quite a bit. Now, I don't know that y'all are ever going to try to calculate stats like that, but it is important. So we're going to do 1.97997 times 250 plus 7.96658. And guys, I always double check to make sure I type it in right with all those decimals, because there's a lot you can mess up on. All right, so we're guessing that if 250 people travel, somewhere around, and this one you can't have part of a suitcase, so you go ahead and round. So we'll say around 503 suitcases. So that's averaging, like, every person gets about 2 suitcases, and then you have probably a couple, we'll say ladies, more than likely, having all their hair products. It could be guys. I feel like Willis probably spends a lot of time on his hair. No? Oh. All right. Everybody understand that?